Hi guys, welcome to Diary TV and my name is Akan. Taribo West blatantly said he will never encourage his son to represent Nigeria in any sporting or any other sports. Why did he say so? You know, he claimed Peter Rufai, nobody, even from the Lagos State government, the NFF, the federal government, the sports minister, nobody was in attendance for Rufai's burial, and the ceremony was recently held, and Taribo claims, according to that interview, Taribo claims that it was players in the ex-Super Eagles players in the WhatsApp chat that contributed to the family of the deceased, the former captain of the national team. This is so bad, and this is so despicable of our country's administration. Whichever way they want to explain, it is very unacceptable for honor a general. I'll call him a general because he was former captain of the national team, and Rufai has done exploits for the national team. You know, we made a video on audio money that the federal government gave to the Super Falcons, and Rashida Ajibade, you know, said till today they've not received their alerts, they've not gotten the $100,000 as promised by of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We hope they will get this money. But you know, some people have argued that after all the money they made in football, our ex-internationals, why would they be asking money from the federal government? You know, I don't think it is too much to ask money from any administrative body in Nigeria if you have represented the country, if you have put your life on the line, you know, to represent this country, this great nation. I don't think it is too much for your family to come and ask for a befitting burial. I don't think it is too much. Today on Diary TV, we'll be analyzing why Taribo went so emotional in that interview and what it really means for the upcoming generations who want to represent Nigeria in other sports. Back in 1994, Nigeria won AFCON 1994, Tunisia 94, Nigeria were champions. Nigeria were champions for the second time after the 1980 edition that we hosted in Lagos. So Nigeria were champions, and that team for the World Cup for the first time, and Peter Rufai was part of that team. Taribo West was not part of that team. Peter Rufai was part of that team, and that team was promised heaven and earth during the military administration, and it was until after 22 years that team was rewarded for their golden feat at Tunisia and reaching the second round of 94. So would you blame Taribo for saying that? You wouldn't blame Taribo, because Taribo is also a victim of this. At the 1996 Atlanta Olympic Games, Nigeria became the first African country to win gold at Atlanta 96, and Taribo was part of that team, but Rufai was not part of that team. They were also promised heaven and earth, naira tomorrow. They've not gotten anything, not until how many years later before they were rewarded. Bonfrejo, coach of that team, even said recently that he would wish that the government will honor him with his own apartment for his 79th birthday. So would you blame Taribo for saying that? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Look at the likes of Stephen Keshi, the late Stephen Keshi, the late Issa Shofoluwe, the late Rashidi Yekini, and the list goes on and on. The late Wilfred Agbonibare. The list goes on and on. What did the government do for them? And if Taribo is saying this, and some people in some quarters are now criticizing him for saying that they actually make money. Yes, they made money, but who cannot go broke? Anybody can go broke. Churches go broke, governments go broke, countries go broke, individuals go broke, countries, they go broke. So if they go broke, why do they have a government? These ones, they even represented the country. They even put their life on the line for the country. You know, playing qualifiers, you are being invited, you are this, you are traveling. But what if something happens on the way? You understand? So if Taribo says the government are not doing anything, he has the right to say that, because he also knows what it is, what it means to represent this beautiful nation of ours. When I come back, I'm still going to give you the exploits of what Peter Rufai has done for this country, so that you would know why he should be honored, why he should be given that honorary burial, a befitting burial. And he should, if they say a statue should be erected for him, why not? Why not? You know, as he was called, the cat back in Rufai was very excellent, you know, in between the sticks. And is this what he will get? Is this what his family will get? Is this the reward that they will get? Just a burial? They are not saying you should name a street after him, or they are not saying you should give their family $100,000. No, just a burial to honor him. Two influencers made comments about Taribo's reaction, you know, about him saying his son will not represent Nigeria in any sport. Two influencers rather, one a real estate guy and one on Twitter. I'm sorry to say, these guys, you know, if you think you are mocking Taribo West some comments, I think you should have a rethink of what. I'm not going to mention their names. You know, one of them said, imagine Mikel Osimhen and others playing in this current generation come tomorrow and say the federal government did not do this, the federal government did not do that. Why? The kind of money in football in the days of Taribo and Rufai, is it the kind of money they make now? And even if, like I said earlier, even if somebody goes broke, does it mean your family, does it mean your country will turn your back on you? It doesn't mean. So the other influencer on Twitter, that is now X, said a federal government this, a federal government that, they were not giving this, they've not received the money. Come on, you don't say such things. You don't speak of our heroes that way. You don't do that. Even the military, you know, even top generals are being honored. You know, these guys go all out to represent the country. You understand? So we don't need to say we don't need to make all of these statements. Probably you have anything, somebody in your family is still poor. So if Taribo is reacting to this and was almost in tears because it is so disgraceful that your former captain of the national team was buried in that manner. Look at Stephen Keshi. Look at what they did to his family before, you know, the government intervened. There had been several reports. You know, the family said they didn't even want to contribute anything or to do anything for them. Is that the way a hero should be buried? No, we are not supposed to bury our heroes that way. I think we should have, you know, this attitude of welfare for our ex-internationals. Okay, what about the ex-internationals that are still in the hospital? You know, Christian Chukwu, before he died, it was this oil mogul that gave him money for his treatment in abroad. Neglected, but it's not like that. That's why people run away to represent other countries, because they know that at their retirement age they'll be getting something. They'll be getting, even if you call it stipends, they'll be getting something that can feed their family. So making those kind of statements, it's a wrong. Diary TV sees it as wrong, not making a good remark, and that's a bad remark. Let's take you back to, you know, how these guys have served the team. Peter Rufai, you know, in the 1988, when I knew Peter Rufai was 1998, Peter Rufai had a penalty save, you know, in the semi-final, AFCON semi-final, Maroc 88 AFCON semi-final. Peter Rufai made Nigeria into the finals of Maroc 88. He saved a penalty from an Algerian player called Bellomi. You know, that was when we knew Rufai. You know, we used to call everybody Rufi. Anybody that knows how to keep it, Rufi. Rufi was wearing afro then, and he made that save. The save was not made by punching. He caught a penalty. I think it was on the left side. He caught that penalty. He caught it like a cat. And you know, this then in the in August 90, Peter Rufai helped the team to qualify for the finals. You know, Peter Rufai was in between the sticks, and we lost to Algeria, host nations, at the final 1-0. Senegal 92, Rufai got injured, and Aloyagu was at Senegal 92. Nigeria went on to claim bronze medal. Tunisia 94, Peter Rufai bounced back, and he won. He was in between the sticks. You know, he had the penalty save in the semi-finals against Cote d'Ivoire. You understand? So Peter Rufai has done so much. Now going to the World Cup, Peter Rufai also helped Nigeria reach the second round of the US 94 World Cup. And France 98 World Cup, Peter Rufai was not even fit. He was not training because he just recovered from injury. He was not in that team. Ikesho Rumu was number one. And Ikeshorumu got injured during the friendlies against the Netherlands, and Willie Opara, the next in line for that position, also got injured against Germany. So Peter Rufai was called upon. Peter Rufai was already preparing to go for holidays in I think he said he wanted to watch the World Cup in one of the Caribbean countries then, and he was called upon, and Rufai came, and we still qualified till tournament. So if you say this guy has not served Nigeria, this guy has served Nigeria. You know, Rufai's career was now delayed a little. You know, Nigeria was banned from 2 AFCON tournaments, 1996 and 1998. Rufai's career was delayed. You know, Nigeria did not participate in the 1996 and the 1998 AFCON tournaments. You know, so if you say Rufai was not a soldier for Nigeria, please have a rethink. Rufai served in all spheres. So in conclusion, Rufai died days before Diogo Jota died, and that was during the Club World Cup competition that was played in the United States recently. Rufai died before, you know, Rufai died before Diogo Jota, and Diogo Jota was honored. Diogo Jota's name was mentioned at the stadium. I don't know why the NFF didn't do anything. Was Rufai not, you know, Rufai participated in the FIFA tournament. Rufai was at US 94, and his name could have been mentioned. These are the things that our administration learn how to do. You know, and not saying we are waiting for this, we are waiting. No, Diogo Jota's name was mentioned. He was just 28 years old or 27 years old. And Rufai he should have been mentioned that this man was also a FIFA. It should have been mentioned that also served his country. You know, he was at the World Cup, so it's a FIFA recognized tournament, 94 and 98 World Cup. I don't know why his name was not mentioned. So Nigerians should do more in, you know, helping our player's name not to die. You know, Rufai's name, we don't pray his name dies. Probably anybody that comes from that family that wants to represent Nigeria in anything would not turn their backs on. So many athletes, so many footballers, you know, deciding not to represent Nigeria, going further to represent another country. You know, Omotoyose of Benin Republic was also a Nigerian, but you know, Benin, you know, gave him open arms, and they welcomed him, and you know, he's late now, and I believe the country is doing everything possible to honor the ex-international. Please, this video is getting me emotional as well, but let us just have a rethink about how things are being done in this country. Taribo West did not make any mistake. You know, if you go to somebody's burial, you get emotional, especially from a friend or from a colleague or something, you get emotional, and Taribo went emotional because time will also come, and he's also saying that is this how he will be honored, because Taribo, you know, he has won Europa League. It was called UEFA Cup then. He won it with Inter. You know, he was a top player. He played for Inter Milan, he played for Kaiserslautern, he played for Auxerre, he played for Red Star Belgrade. He played for lots of clubs. You know, he played for Bayer Leverkusen. He even came to England. He had a little spell with an English side, I can't remember, Derby County. He also played for Derby County. So if you're a player and you come to your friend's burial and the country is treating you like this, the administrators are treating you like this, how would you feel? So I wouldn't blame Taribo for acting that way. You know, thanks once again. Today on Diary TV. Sorry you have to go now. We'll be coming with more videos. Subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share. Thank you very much. I remain Akan.